Hey, your viewers and viewers, my name is John Red Strategist, and welcome to the Sir You Being Hunted you've all been looking forward to these past few weeks. It's episode 300. Phil's joining me via Skype. How you doing there, Phil?
Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do,
There
do-do-do,
we go.
do-do-do.
See?
Oh, stop interrupting me! I
Oh,
want to
it's
do
just
by myself. You fucking twat. Bollock thing.
Wow,
Yes,
that's a
great.
fantastic start to the video right there. So, not even a minute in, and we've already got some Phil rage going on in the
Oh,
background. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So, this is the
that's episode
episode.
300. Can you believe
Yes,
it? The
episode
300th episode number 3 with
zero
two
zero.
zeros after it.
Yes. You see, Philip, young lad, me fellow, we've got a special podcast-style episode today with questions from our viewers.
Of
So,
ship.
yes, indeed. So I've got all of these printed out on a nice piece of paper, or actually 3 pieces of paper, rather. So we've got a good selection to keep us going. So this will be an extra long episode, hopefully. In
This will
which,
be. This
we'll
will
talk
be.
about
But
some,
before we start,
oh,
I might as well start off with some news
go ahead.
because I thought we should do. So I think I'm going to start off with the news of the fact that obviously the big gaming news at the moment is the next Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yes, Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
You did
Yes,
send me
which is
a link to that by phone, yes.
I did. Yes, it's going to be set in the 9th century, the one where it was the Vikings invading England.
Ah,
And it's going to be released holiday 2020, so I've heard, which is going to be fantastic news. I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't even played Odyssey yet,
yeah.
so we're not off to a good start, are we? Really? But it's going to be released for current and next gen consoles.
Yeah. So, you're getting a bit excited, aren't you? You were sort of exploding with joy when you heard this one. So, fantastic stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know this totally because, down here, down in the south, whilst you're back up in the north, and I have no way of knowing, but I know you
No.
were exploding with joy. You were shrieking like a little child with excitement.
That was me. That was me all over. That was me,
Yes.
100%. And you play a protagonist called Ivor, I think.
Ivor.
Who's the and you can change the gender and everything. But yes,
Yeah.
it looks. I've seen the trailer. It's a 4 minute long trailer, and it looks very good indeed. There is going to be some gameplay, but I think they're doing that on the 7th of May.
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit of
interesting
nice
to
news for any AC fans out
Yeah.
there who like
Valhalla.
to, who love their air conditioning, and also you can get the Valhalla when it comes out, and you can play that.
Oh,
that
that's
was a funny
no
AC
joke.
joke. Yes.
Yes. Oh dear.
I
We don't
really
get
would-
that here.
Oh
It's,
dear.
it's not warm enough to warrant our houses having air conditioning.
Well, hopefully with climate change and all that, we'll have Mediterranean climate here in the UK. Everyone's worrying about the effects of having. I'm just here like, bring on the sun. Yes.
Well, I suppose yeah,
Yeah.
it can get quite chilly. But we have had
Yes.
some good weather these past few
We
weeks
have, yeah. It's not been too bad
as well.
actually, has it?
So that's been good. Yes.
Yes. So Phil, tell me, do you think it's time for questions? I think
I
it's
think
time for
it's
some
maybe it's time to
questions.
do question number one, because what we can
Yes.
do is we can sort of mix it,
Yeah.
like have some questions, answer them, and then once we finish answering, have a little bit more chat, and then move on to the next question, and then
Yeah.
things like that.
Kind of like what we did
So,
for
'cause-
that main Q&A video, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
that was, because we went
it
off and
was.
did tangents,
We
didn't
did
we?
indeed, yeah.
Certainly so.
Our first sort of set of questions all come from Crazy Eddie, so he's got a fair few of them for us. So we'll just sort of go through some of these at a leisurely pace. And,
Sure, he asked before, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a load of questions
Sure.
in the previous
Sure.
one, and he's got a load for us here as well. Some quite random ones as well.
Oh, I like
Should
that.
be interesting. So his first actual kind of
Yeah.
question or two, one of them actually kind of follows on from the previous Q&A video. So you remember, of course, in that video we talked a little bit about our music tastes, Phil. Do you remember that?
Yes, we did. Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Various the sort of music styles.
Indeed. So Crazy Eddie's first question is, do you listen to that sort of music at home, like for enjoyment? Well, I don't know about you, Phil, but me, I think I said things like classical music, didn't I? And
Yeah.
I listen to that at home for enjoyment, that sort of thing. I like to put on a bit of the odd Mozart or something on the YouTubes whilst I'm doing, maybe typing some work stuff or whatever. So yeah,
Good idea, that. Yeah.
it is. Yeah. But you probably listen to your kind of favourite music for enjoyment at home, right?
I do, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do like to have a listen on YouTube, but because I create my own music as
Oh,
well.
yes,
I,
you do,
I listen
yeah.
to I listen to a lot of film style music as well. Just browse a bit of YouTube, and I've got some of the music on my phone and USB. so I can listen to it sometime, whether through headphones or something. And when I go to the gym, I listen to music there while I work out. Of course,
Yes.
that can't happen at the moment.
Plug your little headphones in and then just keep going in time to the beat of the music. Yes.
Well, it depends on music. Sometimes I just like listening to all sorts. But
Yeah.
yes, I do like listening to music as enjoyment. I don't listen to music like all the time, 24/7. But it's good to have a little listen and listen to that. But I know that you like, as well as the classical music, you like your Frank Sinatra as well.
Oh,
Do you listen to that too?
I haven't actually listened to that in a while. I need to maybe pick it up again and start reminding myself of some of his songs and things like that. But Bobby Darin, I've been listening to fairly recently again.
Bobby Darin.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember you one of your Sir videos, the weird music videos one.
Oh,
I always
yeah.
listen to some there, like Another Brick in the Wall.
Oh yeah.
Boss Dish, I think it was called.
Oh
Something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
right. It was by Yellow, wasn't it? Boss
That was
Dish?
it, yeah.
And the one by Herbie Hancock, which was Rocket.
That's the one.
The one with the weird music video with all the mannequins and robots.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
Yeah, that was very typical. I don't know, kind of 80s sort of thing. That was. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
that's what
strange.
music is for. It is mostly for listening at home and enjoying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have it on, maybe while you're doing housework, for example.
Oh yeah,
that's also a
definitely.
good shout. As well as just listening to just sit back and enjoy.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So
Musical. We are musicals all over. Not musicals. No, not
we are
musicals.
musical.
High School
Yes.
Musical.
High School. Oof, hey up. God. High School Musical. Oof, jeez, that's a set of films that I've never watched and have no intention of ever doing so. To be honest.
No. Musicals are a funny sort of genre of film. It's
Yeah.
like it's like a normal film, and then suddenly they just break out into song.
Yeah.
They're just like about mundane things. They're just. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to go for a walk in the park. Walk in the park. Walk in the park. Walk in the park. You're like, oh God, you don't really need to make a song about that.
Don't need to make a song and dance about everything. I don't know. I mean, yeah, musicals not something I normally watch. There are some musicals that I have watched before, which I did kind of enjoy, like Les Miserables, for example, when that came out. That was actually, I don't know, I thought that was entertaining. That was actually one where they pretty much sing everything, even like the normal lines of dialogue are kind of done in a very
Like
sing-song
Cats
way.
as well. I think they do that with
God,
Cats.
Cats. Oof, there's a one that was adapted to film very recently, which did not go down very well.
Did not go down very well. Oh no, I hadn't heard about that.
Oh right, it's because of the design that they used for the actors and actresses to make them look like cats. It was just so uncanny valley. It just looked really weird, and people really did not like it. They were just like, ugh, I don't like it. Do not like it at all.
No.
Kind of like what they did with Sonic in that movie, how they had to change his design because people were
Oh
like,
yes.
don't like that.
That strange Sonic film. Yeah,
Indeed.
It's when you put things to live action, like of course one of the ones, the Lion King film. That was a bit strange. Mixed reviews on that one.
Indeed, yeah.
Oh, here's a little factoid for you about Beethoven.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
That you may know, but other people may not. In fact, that Beethoven was actually deaf.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, and the way he could compose was to feel the vibrations through his feet.
Yeah.
That's how composers.
Mm.
Yeah, I know he was a fantastic composer. I'm not a major stonking fan of classical music. I do like a bit because some film music is inspired by classical music.
Yeah.
So it's to that.
Well, the thing is,
But,
the issue with a lot of like historical classical music is that they have these incredibly long titles which are difficult to remember, and there's so much of it. I think for somebody who maybe has never really listened to it, perhaps it's just difficult to kind of get into initially. But I think, like you say, going at it from the approach of kind of film scores, things like that, maybe is actually something better. At the end of the day, like I say, there's plenty of music in a more kind of classical vein that's being made now, which is probably easier to remember. It's probably composed in sort of short segments, which are easier to kind of digest and deal with. So yeah,
there's that one piece called the longest piece ever played that supposedly started a few years ago and is going to go for 639 years.
Oh God,
yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
So it's not gonna be finished. They say the last note's going to be played in the year 2600.
Oof.
Yeah.
God. I mean.
I know.
good lord. Some people, really are quite determined, aren't they, to
The
produce
longest
something
piece ever
right over the
scored. I
top.
know. Isn't it strange?
It is
Yeah.
very strange indeed. Yes. Okay. Next question then from Crazy Eddie. So this is, I think, a slightly more video game related one. Have you ever heard of
Oh.
a video game called Generation Zero, Phil?
Yes, I have heard. I've watched a few top 10 lists on the that have come up with that particular title.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I've not heard of. Well, I think I. Have I heard of it? It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't really know anything about it. Crazy Eddie says it's not set in World War II, but there are bunkers and robots to shoot, apparently. So, who knows, maybe something to check out on the channel. But you saying you've kind of looked at videos and things of it.
I've not seen a great deal. But I've seen a little bit about it. It's. Oh, I'm trying to remember what its style was like. Was it bunkers and robots and things like that? Various different styles like that. I think it had a vibe where, was it a big online multiplayer as well? I'm just trying to remember. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
it sounded interesting. That's what I would say. It sounded very interesting.
So maybe
It's worth a little look at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something to check out. That's the thing, my viewers always kind of give me suggestions about games, and whilst I probably can't obviously play all of them, but it's nice just to have those suggestions so that if there's anything I want to kind of play here on the channel, I can always kind of look at what people are saying, things like that.
And what the things, yeah.
Indeed.
But then you go and find these weird one-off.
True, I do. Yeah.
Which no one knows. There was also that one that I mentioned a long time ago, that Survival Green Hell.
Oh, Green Hell. Yeah.
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 Which was intriguing.
Apparently that one is really unforgiving. If you fuck up in that one, it's like
What,
designed
even
to
more
really
unforgiving
punish
than the Long Dark?
Apparently, from what I've heard, yeah, it's like the slightest thing if you miscalculate can apparently leave you injured and potentially at risk of death in that one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because like real life survival situations in a jungle environment are pretty freaking nasty, so I hear, because thinking about like tropical environments, if I understand them correctly, is that obviously if you take the slightest injury, like the slightest cut, you have to get like proper medical attention to it right away because it can literally turn septic very quickly.
Absolutely. That's the thing with bites as well. When you get snake bites or spider bites, no, complete and utter myth to suck out the venom. You do not do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that. It's one of those things, no, because that will just make it worse. And if you do, what happens if you accidentally swallow it?
Indeed, yes.
So
not a good idea, eh?
No, so that's not a thing. But yeah, survival situations, no one wants to be in them, but it's good to learn about what you would do in various different survival scenarios, such as like quicksand, for example.
Oh, yes.
Now, the good thing about quicksand is you will not sink completely under it. You'll probably go up to about your neck, but that's about it. But even so, if you the best way to do it is to sort of go out and lie out on your back and then start sort of swimming backwards, and that can get you out of the quicksand.
Indeed, yeah. I heard of one about something perhaps more common here in kind of more northern climates. If you ever like fall into a river or something, because obviously it's very cold, you get like cold water shock. Most people's instinct is they start kind of flailing around trying to swim, but of course that usually makes it kind of worse.
Hypothermia risks.
Yeah, and they sort of drain their energy very quickly. So the trick with that one apparently is not to try and, panic. It's to just try and sort of tread water as best as you can until eventually your sort of body kind of stabilizes or whatever, and then you can start trying to swim to shore.
It's like a nightmare scenario, really, isn't it?
It is.
Especially even more nightmare scenario if you fall under water and then you've got the ice over.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
That is that is like a top 10 way that I would not want to go.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
Try. You just suddenly swim into the top and think, right, I'm going to get out. Bang.
Nope. That's
Drowned.
a fantastic impersonation of someone
Exactly.
in that situation there, Phil. Yes. You see,
Good
you had
with
a
impersonations, mate.
reenactment of it there, everybody. Man, we went from talking about Generation Zero to talking about survival tips in
I'm
extreme
going to take
situations.
like I said, it's good to talk about all sorts of various different topics, help people out.
I mean, the chain of causality was we started talking about Generation Zero, video games in general, Green Hell, survival.
Yeah,
There
Green
you go.
Hell.
That was the chain there. So, yeah, quite understandable one.
It's a popular genre for you. You like your survival
I
games,
do,
don't you?
yeah, yeah. I said this, I think, in a previous video that me and you recorded. I need to go back to Stranded Deep because I recorded about four
Absolutely, yeah.
episodes, uploaded them, and haven't uploaded anything else since that. So I need to get back to that.
That's
Oh
good,
man,
Stranded Deep.
yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
good
since I've
little.
been. And Subnautica as well, that episode that me and you
Yeah,
recorded. I need to upload that as well and maybe do some more of that because I would love to do Subnautica because obviously that's been
Subnautica's good.
updated,
Yeah,
yeah, so many
it got a
times since I
sequel,
last
didn't
played.
it? What was its sequel name?
Below Zero. That's
That's it.
I don't know if that's still in early access or if that's technically now in full release. I'm not sure, but that one looks quite good as well.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
But yes, so Generation Zero. I'll have a look around and see what I can see any more
yeah,
information about it. See if it's see what it's all about. Could be fantastic. It could
yeah.
be a load of old shite, but we shall certainly take a look. You can't. It's good to make your own judgments about things, isn't it?
Indeed, it is. Yeah. So, next question from Crazy Eddie, or rather, set of questions because they're all kind of sort of interrelated. These ones. So, he asks me, "Are you related to Kenny Everett?" Which is a bit random. The answer to that is no, I'm not.
Who? Kenny Everett.
Kenny Everett. So apparently he's a comedian, Phil. And Crazy Eddie's next sort of question related onto that was, where do you think Everett should be placed in the pantheon of British comedy? Kind of difficult because I haven't watched any Kenny Everett in a long, long time. So yeah, I can't quite remember his style of comedy very well. And judging by the fact that you didn't recognise the name,
I'm going to be honest here. I have never heard of him.
oof, man. I think
Kenny
he
Everett.
is
Hang on.
kind of.
Isn't it ringing any bells in my head? Kenny Everett. No.
No, really.
No.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's moderately well known here in the UK for his comedy, but yeah, like I say, I haven't actually watched a Kenny Everett thing in a while, so I can't really remember the style of comedy or what it was like.
No.
I'm sure it was funny though, yeah. But sort of on that subject of kind of celebrity slash famous people, Crazy Eddie also asks, Phil, are you related to anyone famous slash infamous?
Yes, I am the great grandson of Adolf Hitler.
Oh dear, wow.
You wouldn't believe it, but there you go.
Oof, man.
And
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't believe it.
It's
You wouldn't
amazing
believe
how
it.
many greats you put on there. That would mean that, wow, he must have his children. He must have had children. His children's children must have had children when they were children. Very, very
No,
fast.
no. This isn't the Adolf Hitler, the infamous
Oh,
evil
right.
man. No,
Oh,
no.
wow. Okay.
This was no. This was Adolf Hitler, who was famous for inventing the teacup back
Oh,
in
wow.
1642.
Okay, so a random Adolf Hitler. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I see. Wow.
Well,
So,
but his fame. But
yeah.
no, I don't. I think if this was to be serious, I don't think I'm related to anyone famous that I know of or infamous that I know of. But who knows? If some people are like related to the royals, but they go like way back, like fifth cousin removed or something
yeah,
to
yeah.
the royals. Yeah, so
Like Danny Dyer.
I could be 545th in line to the throne.
You
Who
could, for all
knows?
you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here, really. I don't know of anyone famous or
Shut up.
infamous
He
in
didn't
my
ask
family.
you.
Well,
He didn't
tough
ask you.
shit, son, because it's my channel and I say I'm going to talk about me. Yes, okay. So, like I say, I don't know of anyone famous or infamous in my family. As far as I'm aware, my family, has its roots in kind of rural stock, sort of peasants and things like that. So, yeah.
Excellent. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, the only slightly notable members of my family are the guy who once got done by the judicial system for rustling sheep, and another guy who died after a train accident. So, yeah.
Oh dear, two
Yes.
very not nice things there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really asked my parents about my ancestry.
Yeah.
But it's good. Obviously, there's these sites like ancestry.co.uk
Yeah, you
and
can
other
pay
sorts
money
of.
and yeah, you can
Yeah,
sort
no,
of look through census records and things.
Yeah, maybe I should have a word with my family and see if
Yeah.
there is anyone we could be related to that might be famous
Yeah.
or might be infamous.
Because my grandfather on my mother's side of the family, he has done a fair bit of kind of research looking into that side of the family, of the whole family tree, and he's got loads of like old black and white pictures of
Yeah.
various ancestors going right back, I think, to the sort of mid 1800s, or maybe just a little earlier than that.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's incredible stuff. And I think I've seen also. I can't remember. I think it's this one's from my dad's side of the family, but there was this really old Bible that apparently has been like passed down since like the late 18th century through various people on his side. of the family. I think I've seen it before. It's like this really old, like falling apart looking book. But yeah, I'm sure he's got it buried away somewhere. It's pretty
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah.
it's interesting to know about these things to see if you were related to anyone that could have. I mean, you could have been related to someone who invented a various product that no one knows
Oh
the
yeah.
name of, but it's still being used to this day.
Yeah.
Like things like microwaves and everything. But actually, the microwave, would you say, was an accidental invention? A
Yes.
guy named Percy Spencer was in his lab, and he walked past a sort of thing that gave out microwaves, and he had a chocolate bar in his pocket which melted,
Yeah.
and that's how let him discover the use of microwaves
Indeed.
and
Yes.
to use it in obviously the famous appliance that we use today.
Indeed, he did, yeah. But conversely, you may also kind of research and find that you're related to somebody who did something rather nefarious or whatever. You might go back and
Genghis
discover
Khan.
Genghis Khan. I'm the
Yeah.
most direct descendant of Genghis Khan. Wow.
God, imagine that.
I know, yes.
Well,
That would be
you
quite
don't know. I
something.
mean, Genghis Khan apparently fathered many
Oh, yeah.
children.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there are. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there is someone out there who, through a very kind of convoluted process of looking through kind of past wives and concubines and going down that route, would probably
Could
find
do
that
that,
they
yeah.
are, to an extent, somewhere distantly back, perhaps related to some, if not Genghis Khan, but to some, I don't know, nomadic horde leader or whatever.
The issue there
Yeah.
is it's difficult at that point to trace back because that was the
Yeah.
sort of 13th century, in the 1200s. There's not going to be that many records
Yeah.
back then. So really, you can only like with these ancestry websites and all sorts of different websites, you can only really go back as far as the 1700s,
Yeah.
1800s. Yeah,
Have you ever watched the Who Do You Think You Are show that sometimes is on BBC?
little bits, little
Yeah.
snippets and portions. I
There was
have,
a
yes.
funny one once. I think it was Matthew Pinsent. I think it was who I think they discovered he was related to royalty. So however many years back, and of course
Yeah.
because most monarchs, obviously they just pass on their kind of title to their child. That meant they could actually trace his family way back. To like medieval
Oh,
era. And it was funny because of course, obviously because back in the sort of medieval era, kings and queens used to derive their legitimacy from this whole idea of divine right, that we are the quote unquote children of God. They in this episode with Matthew Pinson, they rather jokingly said, "Oh yeah, we can trace your family back to Jesus and back to God," because obviously because the way obviously medieval kings
yeah,
and
they had a
queens
funny
kept
sort
their
of policy, didn't they?
yeah, so it was like Henry second son of Henry the First or whatever, and then because of the whole divine right thing, therefore Henry so and so, son of Jesus, son of God. It's like this. So they said it as a joke.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know why they had that sort of. But it was the medieval Middle Ages sort of ran from the 1100s to the 1400s, wasn't it? Something like that.
Round
Yeah.
about, I'd say probably about sort of 9, 1000s, probably to
Yeah.
sort of early 1400s. Because then once you get sort of beyond that, you're getting into obviously like the Renaissance and things like that when things started to change
Yeah.
up.
That's true. Yeah.
Indeed.
Especially in Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, Italy, yes. Indeed. So there you go.
Okay.
Quite an interesting conversation there about history and famous and infamous people.
Oh,
and
we like a
whatnot.
bit of
So
history.
we do indeed, yes. So Crazy Eddie also leaves us another little, slightly more shifty question. He says,
Okay.
looking sideways while squinting, Phil. So, do you put pineapple on hamburgers? Because you remember the thing about pineapple on pizza.
Oh yes, he asked us a question about pineapple on pizza.
Yes, that's right.
Now I know that there is. I have had a look at because there's a few takeaways around me.
Yeah.
That do put pineapple in burgers
Really?
as well. Yes, there are.
I was unaware that this was a thing. Okay.
I was unaware of the thing until I saw the takeaway menu. So I
Yeah.
think you can both say no. We don't really put pineapple
No,
in
we don't,
burgers.
no.
I think
mean-
it's called the. Oh, what did they call the name of the burger? What did
An
they call
abomination burger.
an abomination? Yeah, the burger to end all burgers. No,
Yes.
but no, I wouldn't put pineapple in a burger.
No.
I mean, I like pineapple. It's fantastic. It's fantastic fruit.
Fun fact, actually, as of when we record this, it is Saturday, the 2nd of May, and I had a ham and pineapple pizza last night, actually.
Oh.
So, yeah, nicely well timed, eh? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from then?
It was just a one that I got from Sainsbury's, Dr. Oetker brand.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the Dr. Oetker brand. Yeah, they're good
They
ones.
are
They're
nice,
good.
nice and crispy crusts. Yes.
It's weird, isn't it, pineapple? Because you don't usually think of heating up fruit, of
No.
course, but it does actually work. It does actually work on a pizza. So
Yeah.
sorry, Crazy Eddie. I know you didn't like us having it on a pizza, but we don't have it on a burger. I prefer, to be honest, I'm more of the chicken burger variety than beef burger. I
Yeah.
more prefer to have a chicken burger.
Ah,
Uh,
yes. Chicken burgers are quite good. I actually got some chicken quarter pounders from Sainsbury's as well the other day, and they've been quite nice. To have them, either just with some chips or just maybe putting them on a bun and having it as a
no,
proper
no, you
burger.
can't just have it on your. You can't just have it on its own. You've got to put it into a bun. Come on, it's not a proper
Yeah.
burger then. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And there you go. But also on a kind of more food-related note as well, Phil. Crazy Eddie's last comment that I've just got on this printout here is also
Oh, actually,
related
just
to
before
food.
that, just
Oh, go
before
on,
that,
go on. Yeah.
with regards to the burgers, do you like? Because I know some people like to put onion rings inside
Oh,
the burger. Now,
yeah.
do you like having onion rings inside a burger, or would you prefer to put them to the
Um,
side?
Ooh, I mean, I either
I would
or,
say
to
to
be
the
honest.
side. I think.
I don't mind either of them. I mean, obviously, usually on burgers you'd have like fried onions anyway, but proper sort of onion rings, battered onion rings. I'm assuming you mean.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds nice. Like it would be nice in the burger or on the side. So, I don't know. Either or for me personally. I'd be
Yeah, they're
willing to
nice
try.
onion rings. They really are nice.
Yeah.
Um, they're,
Indeed.
they're
Yeah.
the ring of amazingness is what we
Indeed.
can say. Yeah.
That's the one. But just getting back then to Crazy Eddie's last comment, the one that's still related to food. Crazy Eddie would like to say to you, actually, Phil, do us a favour, will you? Tell Phil thanks for the chili beetroot combo. Going to make some, sounds delish, thanks. So he says that. So good on you there, Phil, for giving him
Oh,
that idea.
good. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. You can get it from we get it from Morrison's or Sainsbury's around here, but the sweet chili beetroot is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
You can get it in packs of, and they haven't diced it up. It's just a normal beetroot. But funnily, in the packets you get some of the beetroots are quite big, and you get some little tidgers. It's like, what are
Yeah.
you doing here? Obviously, whoever's cut them up has been like, that'll do. But yeah, the sweet chili ones are absolutely lovely, and
Yeah.
they're so good. I mean, normal beetroot, tasty, yeah, nice, but no, the sweet gives it that extra kick. So I'm glad, Crazy Eddie, that you enjoyed
Yeah.
sweet chili beetroot and are making use of it, because beetroot is a fantastic vegetable,
Indeed. Yeah.
unbelievably healthy. Because of
Exactly.
course it's classed as superfood, yeah.
Yeah.
And I do eat a lot of beetroot because it's really good. I don't know, because what happened was the other day as well, a few days ago, I went to the supermarket, and due to obviously this COVID-19 coronavirus, they ran
Yeah.
out of sweet chili.
Oof.
So I just got them, but they had the normal beetroot left, so I got that, cut it up, had a bit, and went, well, it's all right, but it's
Yeah.
not anywhere near as good as the sweet chili one.
No.
So I was disappointed they didn't have any left, but I have got some now, so I've got back to the sweet chili. I mean, it's a funny thing, sweet chili, because it makes a lot of things a lot more flavoured. Like
Yeah.
sometimes for lunch, I get a sweet chili chicken wrap, and that's good.
Nice. Yeah.
Sweet chili chicken wrap. Sometimes you get sweet chili chicken pizzas. They're cracking.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had, when we went to the Leeds Armouries Museum on the way back, we stopped at the spa on the
Oh yeah, we did. Didn't we?
and you got a
Rivington
sweet chili chicken
Services,
wrap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use sometimes sweet chili for flavouring various things. Like sometimes, because I have a little plastic bottle of it in my kitchen cupboard.
Yeah, like
sometimes,
Blue Dragon or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a famous company. Yeah.
But yeah, I just sometimes use it for flavouring various odds and ends, just because it's such a nice flavour. To be honest, I like it a lot. So sometimes, for example, if I've got like a rice dish or something, and I want something just to squirt a bit of sweet chili sauce to give it some extra flavour or whatever.
Absolutely. It's funny because it's sort of like two combinations you wouldn't think, because obviously
Yeah.
chili, the sort of spicy, but then you've got the sweet texture as well.
Yeah. So, on that last comment of Crazy Eddie's, one more question specifically for you, apparently.
Oh, also,
And it's,
just Crazy Eddie.
Yep.
If you're interested, Crazy Eddie, in seafood, I highly recommend seafood sticks, i.e., crab sticks, and mussels.
Ooh,
Them
well,
together are really
Yeah.
good. And if you put them in a tuna baguette, oof, properly good. So if you want to try that combination, give it a go.
yeah, sounds good. So, final question again, because it's Crazy Eddie. It's quite a random one.
Okay.
And Phil
Fire away.
said he liked football. What does he think of Australia's national team, the Footballaroos? Which I don't know. Oh, it's a random one.
Footballaroos. I assume it's that they are. Is that Australian rules football? I assume it's that the
Yeah,
Australian footballer. What is that? Their team name? That's a
yeah.
fantastic team
It is
name.
a fantastic team name.
Because it's obviously a combination of football and roos, which is
Yeah,
sort of
kangaroos.
yeah, they're in the kangaroo family, the marsupial family,
Yeah,
you would say. Roos are like
marsupials.
like
Yes.
small kangaroos, aren't they? That's a good name. The Australians, they do have a funny sort of comedy style.
Yeah,
They like to do
they
things like that. Yeah.
basically, as far as I'm aware, with Australia, their comedy loves basically political incorrectness and things like that. So it can be
The
quite funny
footballaroos.
sometimes.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. I might have to call. I might if we ever do like a quiz night or something.
yeah,
I might have to put that as the team name.
yes.
The
Footballer is
footballaroos.
a good one,
Oh,
eh?
fantastic.
There you
Good
go.
name.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
been following any sports recently or anything, Phil? Or
Well, we haven't been able to, have
oh,
they? There
true.
hasn't been
Actually,
any
no, we
sport.
haven't.
Hasn't been
Have
any sports going on because of coronavirus.
we? What about
But
esports?
esports, yeah, it's interesting. I haven't really watched, but I know there might be some going on, although I haven't heard too much about them. But I have heard that at some point in the future they're going to put esports in the Olympics.
Man, it'll be a
I know,
very
it's
funny one. That
crazy.
will. Yeah.
But I don't know when because I'm a little bit of a football fan, yeah. So it's a shame, obviously, that the Premier League has stopped and all that, obviously
Yeah.
due to all that. And I heard the French league have actually they were thinking of restarting again in June, but now they've postponed it until next year.
Oh dear. Yes. Not nicht gut for sports fans. Gosh, I couldn't talk for a second then. You know, that's something that totally never happens in any of my videos, does it? Yes.
But yeah, I know the English
Yeah,
fails
exactly.
sometimes.
Indeed.
Is there any sports that you are interested in?
Just trying to think. Man, you know what? I kind of do miss and want to see again soon.
Oh yeah,
Winter Olympics, because I do quite like some of the wintry sports like the bobsleigh and things like that.
there is. Yeah, although unfortunately we just had it. I love the Summer
Yeah.
Olympics. I love both the Summer Olympics. Obviously got more events in it, and it's very very cool as well. But
Yeah,
that was going to bloody happen this year.
true.
But no,
Indeed, yes.
it's postponed until next year now, which is very disappointing. But I can understand it, of course.
Yeah.
But it's good to see it again next year and see obviously the 5 new sports they've introduced. Um, and everything like that. I know I keep talking about the 5 new sports, but who knows? Maybe in the next, there'll only be a gap of 3 years now
Yeah,
for the next Olympics because it's been postponed for a year. But yeah.
yeah.
Oh no!
Got dogged. Yeah. Wait for him to get off me.
You went,
As long as
you went dogging.
yeah.
Beg
Oh dear.
your
That's a very
me.
different.
Excuse me.
Deary me,
Very
Phil. Where did that come from? Good lord. Yes. Oh dear. But one does love a bit of no, they don't.
Here's a question for Crazy Eddie.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Answer it in the comment section on here. If you could, okay, Crazy Eddie, if you could eradicate all sports in the world and only leave one sport remaining, which sport would you like? Which would be your favourite, and which would you like to watch? So you can get rid of any. It's sort of like a would you rather question.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you could eradicate all sports and just leave one sport remaining, which would it be? Which one, Crazy Eddie, do you find the most enjoyable
There
to
you go,
watch,
yeah.
even to play? Yeah.
So leave your answer down below in the comments then. And yeah, so there we go. That's all of Crazy Eddie's questions gone through. So some very interesting ones there. Our next question comes from Splicey
Can
on
I just
Charlie.
say?
Oh, go ahead.
Can I just say the latest "See You Being Hunted" video, the mustard one? Oh my god, the amount of you know.
Oh, God.
I was looking at Mustard Channel, and it's
Yeah.
really good. I was looking at the airship, but
I know. I
there
do
were
say
so
that
many
again.
knows in there.
I know. I say that a lot. Yes.
We've got to limit your nose
I know.
down.
We've got to put a limit meter on there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, if only I could have a pound for every time
There you
I
go. You
said
did it
that.
too. You did it twice
I
then.
know I did, didn't I? Yes. There you go.
Okay.
Right.
Question the next.
Splicing on Charlie's question then, Phil. So,
Okay.
do either of you guys remember the old comedy show The Goodies? They had an episode in their 3rd season called, it had 3 titles, either Hunting We Will Go, or Hunting Pink, or Tally Ho. In parts of the episode, once they show up at the hunting lodge, it reminds me of Sir You Being Hunted. Lots of tweed and shotguns and shooting everything in sight. BBC has blocked all Goodies videos from YouTube, so not sure where you might see this episode of The Goodies. Have you ever watched any of The Goodies before, Phil?
I don't think I can't say I have, no, but
No.
I know it's a good little show, and
Yeah.
that's an interesting thing. I don't know why the BBC have blocked it off YouTube.
Copyright
Uh,
grounds,
cop-
probably. Yeah.
oh, that thing, that old.
The old C word. Yes.
That's it.
Absolutely.
What,
But
what
yeah,
about you? Are you a goodies? Goodies
I've not
fan?
watched. I've seen clips of the goodies. It does look
Yeah.
quite enjoyable. I think Bill Oddie was in it, wasn't he? Um,
Oh God, Bill Oddie.
yeah, Bill Oddie.
Oh, the popular naturalist.
Yes,
Naturalist. Yeah,
naturalist, bird watcher, and all that.
one. Yeah.
Indeed, yes. The only thing I sort of vaguely remember of a clip I once saw years and years ago. I can't remember. I don't know which goodies episode this was. Was they were at kind of like a big mansion somewhere, and there were all these characters from kids' TV shows there, like trashing the place. It was really weird. It was like a springy guy from the Magic Roundabout, whatever he was called.
Oh, the Magic Roundabout. Yeah,
Yeah,
my dad used to love watching that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was
Sure.
Hector, I think, from Hector's House, and all this sort of stuff. It was crazy. Hector's House, incidentally, was a originally I think it was a French production. It was then dubbed for the British audience, and my mother absolutely used to love it when she was a little girl because it aired in the I think sort of 67, 68. And my dad, for a laugh, once got her a DVD with all the Hector's House episodes on it for
Oh,
her
that's
birthday
good.
once. Yeah,
What was a birthday present, Christmas present,
yeah,
or
birthday I think it was.
birthday
Yeah,
was it?
yeah,
Yeah, it's good that. Yeah, my dad was a fan of the Magic Roundabout. He used to
yeah,
watch that when he was younger. I'm not so sure about my mum.
yeah.
Um, I'll have to see. But yeah,
Yes.
it's interesting. There's a new sort of episode that's styled very much like So You're Being Hunted.
Yeah, that is
Interesting to see.
peculiar. Yeah, so the goodies is something probably that I would check out sometime in my free time. So I'll have to try and remember to do so. I imagine
And,
you could probably get it on like DVD or whatever.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Probably
yeah,
from Amazon or something like that. But
yeah.
we can't forget the other twos there. There was the baddies and the uglies.
Oh, the goodies, the baddies, and the uglies. That was the
That's it.
British comedy knockoff of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, starring
God.
Bill Oddie as Tuco the Bandit.
Oh, Bill Oddie. Yeah, he was a bird watcher, wasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah,
he's an ornithologist, as the more
yeah.
technical term is. My uncle was a big ornithologist. He used to love going to. He used to take me when used to go and visit them. There was this quarry with loads of different birds, and he'd always like to view them with binoculars, and then
Yeah.
note down with like an oldie word, sort of like tape record, like a Walkman.
Oof, wow.
Just put them on there, and then he'd play it back and note it down on his computer.
Yeah, man. Some people get really into bird watching and things like that. It's quite an interesting
Yeah.
little hobby,
And you
indeed.
see those little huts, don't you?
Yeah,
With the slits.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at them through
Which
the
is a very
binoculars.
sort of British thing. And I remember seeing it in Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is very good of them. It's the bit where you go into the woods and into that park bit,
Yeah,
and there's a bird hut in there. So well done to the Chinese room
yeah,
for putting that in, because it's very. I still love the setting of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, because you don't ever have a country sort of place like that. And just seeing seeing the country pubs,
oh yeah.
yeah,
It's
that
such a
was
unique
just
setting. It was just the
absolutely.
graphical design made it look so lovely. It was fantastic.
Oh,
I really enjoyed Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It was a good recommendation on your part, that was, Phil.
well, yes, it was.
Even though it took
Well,
me so long to get round to it.
I know, but that's to be fair. You
Yeah.
couldn't have really played it on your old PC,
No, I
because it
couldn't.
was on its knees.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was.
But it wasn't just me suggesting. I know your viewership as well. They
Yeah.
suggested it too.
Indeed, they did.
But I'm going to take that suggestion into consideration, and I might have a little YouTube search on the goodies to watch.
You know, on a sort of related note here, this is a bit of a sort of digression, but it's vaguely
Yes.
connected, because we're speaking about kind of children's kind of TV shows here, and also I think this was something that Splicey on Charlie once said on a comment on one of my Medal of Honor videos. Did you know that apparently Wallace and Gromit has video game adaptations?
Vaguely, yes,
Yeah.
I have heard Wallace and Gromit's done well, because they've obviously got the main series. Then they had movies. Curse the
Yeah.
Were-Rabbit, one of the most famous.
Yeah.
There are some video games, but I've not really seen them or even attempted to play them.
Apparently there's like a series of ones by Telltale Games who made like The Walking Dead,
Oh,
Minecraft
no,
Story
that I
Mode,
didn't know.
stuff like that. Those apparently more up to date. And I was actually Google searching at a generalist. Apparently there was a 2003 title called Project Zoo, something like that, which apparently was like a 3D platformer. But yeah,
Right.
weird.
Oh,
I wonder if
I hadn't heard Telltale Games did that. That's intrigued me more, because Telltale Games have done a really good job with some of theirs.
Indeed,
Obviously, The Walking
yeah.
Dead, Borderlands. They did. No, it wasn't called Borderlands. What was it called? What was it called? What was it called? The Borderlands one they did.
The Borderlands one.
Oh, they did a Borderlands one.
Oh, did they? I don't know.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
did do.
I don't
Obviously,
know
they
a
did.
huge
They
amount
did
about
The Wolf
Telltale
Among
games.
Us,
Oh
uh,
yes.
Minecraft Story Mode,
Mm,
of course,
yeah.
which is mixed reviews on that. That was
Yeah,
Minecraft
I
Story
watched a
Mode.
video of it the other day, Minecraft Story Mode, and God, it was like the cheesiest shit I've ever watched.
Yeah, I think there's two. There's
Yeah,
Minecraft Story Mode 2 as well now.
yeah,
Um, it is quite cheesy. Yeah, the characters especially.
yeah. Just the dialogue. I think it's probably because it's obviously written for a much younger target
Yes, I think
demographic.
it is
Yeah,
written for
yeah,
a younger demographic.
yeah.
Well,
Most
and
likely.
obviously there's the new sort of game, Minecraft Dungeons,
Oh
which is
yeah.
it's not it's got nothing to do with Minecraft. It's just the aesthetics
Yeah, it's that
of
sort of
Minecraft, but
cube-based
it's a
dungeon crawler.
roguelike dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting stuff there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so on to our next set of questions. These ones come from Brandon Peters. There's about, hold on, how many have we got into? Oh, yeah, we've got about five different comments
Oh,
with
Brandon
questions.
Peters. I think
Loves
he
to leave
commented on
some.
the last one,
Yeah,
didn't
he
he?
did, yeah. He likes to
Yes.
leave a good few questions for us
Good.
to
That's always like
do. So the first one, if you could be in a work of fiction, what would it be? Note, for example, if you went to King Arthur's court in medieval times, you would still have the knowledge that you already have and the ability to alter history. So if you go to a fictional world, basically, and you would preserve all your knowledge that you have now, you could alter history or whatever, or the kind of direction of things going on in whatever world you go to.
Oh,
So
this is like a sort of will you press the button?
yeah, yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So works of fiction, I mean, there's all kinds of potential ones that I think you could sort of name and think about here. I mean, I've probably said before in not the last Q&A, but probably ones before that, where people have asked, if you could go to the fictional world of a video game, for example, where'd you go? I've said things like maybe like sort of the Beyond Good and Evil world, or maybe,
Yeah, we did that.
yeah, or maybe like I don't know, if you wanted something really crazy and zany, maybe like the Rayman world or something. I don't know.
Here we
Yeah,
go. Here we go. Let's split this up, Andrew.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do video game,
Okay. Yeah.
movie, TV
Ooh.
show, and book.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So let's start off with since we're obviously all fans of this, video games.
Okay, video games. Well, I think
Yeah.
I'll stick with the Beyond Good and Evil answer then for that one because I think it looks like a very colourful, interesting sort of world. Granted, there's threat, but then again, I can't think of many video game worlds where there isn't some form of threat in the background. So yeah, I like that one. Like I say, just because it looked like a
Honey
colourful one.
Pop.
Oh, Honey Pop, actually. Oh God, yes. Why didn't
Yeah,
I think
that's
of
got
that
no
one?
threat in the background.
The only threat there is the threat of the girls finding out that you're actually cheating on them, which actually they
Yeah.
never do. So it's not really a threat, is it?
There goes no threat
Yes.
there. So that'll be a good one. But
Yeah.
so mostly Beyond Good and Evil for you.
Yeah. Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting one. What about you? What would your video game world that you'd go to be?
Honey Pop. Yeah.
Honey Pop, exactly that one. Did I ever tell
Well,
you
I
that?
mean, I was going to say Senran Kagura, but then I thought that you're just going to get fight.
Yeah, you're just going to fight with all the girls, and they're going to probably kick your ass
Yeah,
quite
that's
badly.
true. But
Yes.
what would be what would be? It'd be interesting to go into it might be interesting to go into the Watch Dogs universe.
Watch Dogs.
Although if everything is interconnected, it's easy to hack things, and it might not
Yeah.
be good. Especially
Bit of
in that
dystopia,
universe,
yeah.
suddenly your car gets taken control of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Indeed. Yes.
And it starts ramming into another car. Thus, you start dying, especially if it's a self-driving car as well.
Yeah.
So that might not be the best. It's
Yeah.
difficult to say because there's just so many different games, but they've all seemed to have a big threat level, apart from things like Honey Pop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just thinking what would be Doom. No, definitely not.
No,
Don't go
definitely
to
not
Doom.
Doom.
Oh, God, can you imagine
Yeah.
that? Oh
You
my
wouldn't
God.
You wouldn't want to go to somewhere like Doom or Wolfenstein or anything like that because that would just be
Yeah.
horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like video games sort of universes there to give a kind of indication of those. So you're saying as well things like maybe film or kind of TV
Okay, yeah.
show
Next one.
universes.
Film. Yeah. Go for it.
Film. Okay, film. Now this one. No, I was about to say actually this one might be more difficult because obviously I'm not a great sort of film buff, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to crane my neck over my head, just to look at my DVDs on my shelf to see if I can get any inspiration. You know what? I'm
Inspiration
gonna.
filling
You
your
know
brain.
what? If you've obviously, it's in my propagandist channel, I do a lot of Girls and Panzer content over there. I'm just going to say the universe of Girls and Panzer Dare film, so I can see high school girls fighting in tanks.
It's funny
Yeah,
that.
because nobody
Funny.
dies in that universe. It's like there's these, convenient plot armor sort of reasons why it's actually entirely safe, quote unquote. But
What
yeah.
about Sucker Punch?
Ooh, I mean, no,
Thanks.
I mean that's actually quite a grim universe when you
Like
think
Grim
about what's
Universe.
actually going on in it.
Of
Yeah,
course, you would bloody go for anime, wouldn't you?
yeah, because why
Oh,
not? It's
God,
nice and colourful and kawaii.
kawaii. A film for me.
Yes,
What film universe? You know, what would be an interesting film universe to go.
go ahead.
Even though there are quite a few threats that can happen with various different things. The Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
still
was
waiting
thinking
for
to be
your
interesting.
Hogwarts letter?
Yeah. Ding dong. Hang
Oh,
on a
there it
minute.
is.
There it is. Oh no, they come via owl. So
Oh yes, you have
the
to.
problem, the thing with living in the or being in the Harry Potter universe, it's very old-fashioned because it's
Indeed.
sort of the castle, because it's a castle. It's sort of set in the sort of 19th century sort of ways,
Yeah.
isn't it? With it, because you obviously have owls delivering things,
Yeah.
but you do have magic, and that's
Indeed.
the main thing. But there
Yeah.
are lots of horrible creatures as well. You know, you've got Aragog and the spider dementors, all these crazy plants that can come to life and basically devour you.
Yeah. Indeed.
Still, it'll be an interesting little franchise to see.
Yeah.
If we're talking about other films, if I'm going to go the anime route,
Oh, go on.
Pokemon.
Pokemon, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's like tons of Pokemon films.
Yes.
But then, because you could train where you've got these beasts to train, but then they could turn against you,
Indeed.
especially if it's like Mewtwo.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, on to a TV show.
Ooh, now this one is going to be actually quite difficult for me because I don't really watch a lot of
I'm on the
TV.
same level as you.
Yeah. So I can't. I'm trying to think. Is the one that springs to mind, which I want to inhabit, and I'm kind of struggling a bit to find one. Um, I don't really know, to be honest. Um, yeah, I feel like I don't really watch enough TV to really give an answer to that one specifically. Anything that springs to your mind, Phil, or
Um, I'm just thinking, it'd be good to, if you could, either to realistic Top Gear.
Top Gear?
Because I do like cars.
Well, that's just our universe that we're in, isn't it? Top Gear.
Oh yeah, it's not fictional, is it?
No.
Oh shit, let me start again.
Oh man, yeah, you could tripped over on the loophole that you thought you had.
I have. Let me just think. You know what? You know what I'd do? I'd go into bloody Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer's world, right? And where's my map? It's in your fucking backpack, you twat.
Deary
It's
me.
been there for the past. Look into your backpack and stop staring at the screen for 10 minutes.
Oh man, that would be a very different kind of show. That would
Yeah.
if you were a character in there. Wow.
And I'd just get so pissed off with her because she'd be like, right, we need to cross this chasm. I have a ladder, a rope, and a chocolate bar. What should I use? What the bloody fuck do you think you should use?
Wow.
Do you think a chocolate bar is going to get you across? No, you stupid cunting twat. You're going to need the fucking rope, aren't you? Oh my God, I've never seen someone so dumb. It'd just be
Wow.
me doing that. It'd just
Yeah.
be me doing that.
Man, kids would definitely learn a lot of interesting words
Yeah.
from you there. Yeah.
I know they would. And I think sometimes you might do like maths equations like, let's move on. So now we need to calculate what 2 + 2 is. And I'm just there face palming.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh God, yeah. That'd be quite something, that would, wouldn't it? Maybe that's what you should do, Phil. Maybe you should, get yourself on YouTube and make a little animated web series. Phil rips
God.
apart children's cartoons by self-inserting.
Hey, I could do it.
Yeah.
Just like get a load of different of these old cartoons and just
Yeah.
But I'm sort of like you. I don't watch a lot of TV,
No.
fictional TV shows, so I'm not so
Yeah.
sure.
No.
But yes, finally, book.
Books. And now, if I was sort of 10 years old here, again, I'd probably say like the Red Wall
Well,
universe.
you do have that in mental age. So,
True. Oh yeah, there you go. See, that's sort of like I can't tell whether that's an insult or not. Maybe because I'm only mentally age of 10. Who knows?
mental age. Hey,
Yes.
I know some smart 10-year-olds. But
True,
what about
yeah.
that? What about that quiz show? Are you smarter than a
Oh
10-year-old?
God, yeah, that one,
See?
where you
Yeah.
realise, how dumb you actually are compared to some of these kids
Yeah, you're
who appear on
embarrassment.
there.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you're saying if I was a kid again, when I was a kid, I always thought the Redwall universe was quite an interesting one because obviously a lot of kids read Brian Jakes' books, and they're very
Oh, I remember you
interesting.
talking about that. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember. Was it a Sir video where you talked about that? I can't
yeah, it
remember.
might be
Yeah.
actually. I can't quite remember. Yeah, probably when I was talking about literature when I was a kid and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, Redwall possibly because granted, there's a lot of bad guys and things like that in it, and you know there's a lot of peril and threat in them sometimes. But putting that aside, there's also a lot of interesting stuff in that universe. Which again, like I say, if I was 10 years old, I'd definitely say that one.
Definitely say that one. Um, what would I like?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, for pure adventure, even though there's a lot of horrible bad guys in it, for pure adventure, I'd like to Clive Cussler
Clive Cussler.
and
Oh
his
yeah,
book with
yeah,
Dirk Pitt.
Dirk Pitt and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, those are interesting storylines in there.
yeah,
There's always a main villain who's doing something.
yeah,
But I'd enjoyable to be in those sorts of books and just see the adventures that you
be the
go on.
adventurer.
Uh,
Yes.
they turned one of them, I think it was Sahara, into a film.
They did, yes.
Yeah,
Do you want to know where I saw that for the first time, Phil? This is a fun
they
little
did.
story. I
Yeah.
first saw that film in its entirety back in 2009 on my trip to Russia with my modern history
Oh,
class hotel room. I just had the TV on and it had the right, so it had the film on, but of course instead of subtitles, the basically the Russian TV station, whatever it was, just decided to have a voiceover talking over all the lines in Russian, and it didn't have like different actors for different characters. It was just a Russian guy talking over the entire movie in Russian. It was
so
just
for each character,
yeah,
so when it came to like a female character,
yeah. It was just the
oh
same
god,
voice.
oh
It
god.
was
So
hilarious.
did they quieten down their voices and just put him louder?
Yeah, basically they had to kind of turn down the film volume a little bit so that then he could be heard. So it was an odd experience of watching that for the first time. But yeah, that was the first
Where did
time I
I
saw it.
watch it? I think I watched it. I think it just came on a film on because we had when I lived with my parents, we had Sky.
Yeah,
For those who don't know, that's our cable TV, and I think it just popped up as a film on like Channel 5 or something.
yeah,
And I just watched it on there and thought, oh, interesting. Well, I
yeah,
was excited at first because I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I've just because I think weirdly enough, like a week ago before, I'd actually read the Sahara book,
yeah.
so I thought. The only issue with the films based off books, again, like with Harry Potter, is they do cut out some bits.
They do.
There's like
Yeah,
big bits cut, especially with a second Harry Potter one, The Chamber of Secrets. In the
yeah,
actual book, they have Nick's death day party.
yeah. They
Do you
do.
remember? But in the film, not at all.
Yeah.
Not in the film
I
at all.
suppose at
Yeah.
the end of the day, if you're trying to create a film with that's only about 1 to 2, well, more than 1 hour, sort of like 1.5 to 2.5 hours long, or whatever the average length of
Yeah.
most films is. Usually you end up having to cut a lot of the book material because obviously you can't fit it all in and all that. But yeah,
Yeah, it disappoints some people that.
yeah,
They like
true,
to see some various scenes. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Indeed, there you go. So a bit of stuff about fictional worlds and what we'd go into. Just thinking actually as well about that Redwall one I said, that reminds me, I've got a game on Steam called Ghost of a Tale, which a lot of people
Okay.
basically in the reviews say reminds them so much of Redwall. It's kind of like
Oh,
Redwall, the video game, so I definitely want to do that on the channel at some
definitely want
point.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
could be
that.
something
Have a whirl at
interesting.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Brandon Peters' next question, and
Hmm?
the phrasing of this one might be a bit sort of confusing at first, but I think I get what he's kind of meaning here. Do you think royalty is real? Now, I think what he means by this one is, do you sort of think that in this day and age, monarchies have are they kind of a justifiable thing in today's kind of modern world? Um, if that kind of makes sense, because I think that's what Brandon Peters is kind of getting at with this question.
Well, the funny thing about that is it's like our royal family.
Mm,
It's they sort of take a back seat, and it's more the prime minister who
yeah,
deals with the ins and outgoings of the country.
yeah. They're a
Um,
constitutional monarchy, the British one, so meaning they don't really actually have any actual political power or anything
yeah,
like
that's
that.
the thing. They're
Yeah.
sort of in the background. Obviously, they do the signing in of a new prime
Oh
minister,
yeah, yeah,
but it's mostly the prime minister who deals with the country.
yeah.
Uh,
Indeed.
and
That's the thing, because officially, the Queen is supposed to have, or the monarchy rather in general, is supposed to have certain powers and prerogatives, but in practice, if if the monarch was to actually exercise them, it would lead to a political kickback. So, in practice, she doesn't, the monarch doesn't really actually have all that kind of power. I think really here in Britain, the UK monarchy, its role is more kind of symbolic and ceremonial than anything else.
Definitely, yeah, because there's lots of other countries out there that don't have a royal family, and they're doing just fine.
Yeah, it is one of those things that's kind of a leftover of history, effectively. Most countries now have kind of moved on and have systems that don't rely on kind of that hereditary appointment or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think one of the other famous royal families is the Dutch.
Yeah.
The Dutch have got a royal family, haven't they?
The Dutch do, yeah.
Sweden,
yeah,
as well. They have some royal families.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Spain has one as well.
Spain, yeah.
Juan Carlos and all that. Yeah,
that's it.
Indeed. Yeah. So,
I mean, if it's a good thing to think? What would be the situation if suddenly we didn't have a monarchy? I think the country would still run and still function because we've got the prime minister.
Indeed, yeah. I think obviously at the end of the day, I don't think the monarchy is critical at all to really Britain's continued political.
And everyone has a little go. Everyone has a little jab at the prime minister. Especially people have a jab in the past at Boris Johnson. Oh, he's silly. He's very eccentric. He shouldn't be fit for the prime minister role. But look what he's done for us during this coronavirus crisis. He's done really well, and obviously he contracted it as well, and he came out. But he's helped push the country through this coronavirus. It's still, as of this video, the coronavirus is still going on.
Yeah. I can see Boris Johnson's initial response to coronavirus maybe wasn't brilliant, and I think he did take him a bit slow. But granted, he has kind of responded as time went on to it.
Well, let's just not forget that this is the first time we've ever had something like this.
Yeah, and I think generally, he has done the right things. So I kind of think really that whatever course of action Boris Johnson had taken, I feel like he would have been damned if he did and damned if he didn't, so to speak. Because a lot of people sort of criticised his slow response at first, saying that why are you putting economic concerns above kind of the health concerns and all that? But the thing is, like, from a kind of security analyst point of view, economic concerns are quite vital to kind of health security and things like that. Because a lot of the worry is that if the lockdown goes on for too long, what are going to be the long-term economic consequences of that?
Exactly.
And that's an important question. It's not, it's all very well sort of accusing him of being sort of, money-minded, profit-focused and all this, but this is all important in today's world.
Talking about that, though, I have heard rumours that next Wednesday or Thursday there might be some easing of the lockdown.
Oh yes, that's
and
true.
some maybe some more strict enforcements in other areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll start happening. I imagine they'll probably sort of do it kind of in phases, gradually easing it. Yeah, just to try and manage it really effectively.
Please do it with the shops, please.
Yeah.
I don't like the queues. I don't like the queues at all.
I don't mind the queues at the shops myself. The one thing that just gets me, and I want really reopening, are things like barber shops and hairdressers, because I need a goddamn haircut. I'm telling you, Phil, I really need one.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do that at the moment.
No, you can't.
I might have to think about that, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go, Brandon Peters. That was your big question about royalty there, and we sort of answered it, and then wandered off about COVID-19 and the Prime Minister and all that. There you go. Yeah. So here's the next question. If you could make your own game, what would you do? So in this, it's scenario, Phil, money isn't an issue, and you have complete creative freedom to do what you want. Ooh. So if you could make your game, what would it be? This is an interesting one.
Right. I would like. Well, I'm a big fan of open world type games, so I definitely have a game with an open world. Maybe sort of technology based, maybe in this sort of vein of like Cyberpunk 2077, Watch Dogs Legion, big technology things.
Yeah.
What I'd really love, because I am a fan of trains and various things.
Ooh,
I'd love to have a game with a fully fledged, gigantic, monstrous subway system.
Really? Yeah.
Definitely put that in. I know most video game companies can't do it because it's obviously a lot of programming work, coding to fit a massive subway system in.
Yeah.
But I have seen in obviously Watch Dogs Legion is going to be set in London, so you can't not put the underground in it.
True.
I mean, you can't, can you? Really, let's
Yeah.
be honest. And
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077, they showed in one of the trailers. They showed he was in a train, and then it zoomed in before it zoomed out of the metro map,
Oof.
and it looks
Yeah.
humongous. It looks
Nice.
humongous. So fingers crossed that Cyberpunk 2077 has that. We'll have to wait until September the 17th. I
Yeah.
think it is. That's when it's getting released. But apart from that, because that's just mundane and boring. Yeah, it's an open world with train systems, but to have just where you can do all sorts of things that you want and have a fully fledged breathing city. I know most of the things like that, like GTA 5 had a breathing city, but you've got like you can interact with the NPCs, have just a general chat with them,
Yeah.
have a lot of realism in the games. You can just walk down the street, have a chat with the pedestrians, just see things like go into go into nearly every interior of a
Yeah.
building, because you can't really do that. You can't just, they won't allow you into the buildings.
Yeah. So you could sort of create kind of like a sort of modern city, just kind of fleshed out living city simulator, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Open
fantastic.
world,
Now,
yeah.
that's not to say I'm a dull only like modern things, because I do play a lot of open world historical games. At the moment, I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2,
Yeah.
set in the American Wild West, and I've loved my Assassin's Creed games, which are full on set in historical locations. And I certainly will be getting my hands on Odyssey soon. I'll be playing Odyssey. I've played Origins, absolutely loved it. Ancient Egypt, oh, fantastic.
Indeed.
One of the I don't know which has been my favourite historical period in a game. I'm just trying to think through the Assassin's Creed ones. I did like Victorian London.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
in
a good
Syndicate.
setting.
Yeah.
Syndicate. I did like the Wild West that Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 do. That was really good. I'm just thinking of other historical things, but yeah, that's and ancient Greece is certainly an interesting one. So when I come round to Odyssey, it'll be very good. And obviously Valhalla, as we mentioned at the start of this
Yeah.
video, Viking era is good. That'll be fantastic.
Indeed.
That'll be
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah. So Andrew, what would be your?
So, I've had sort of various thoughts about what I'd kind of like to see in a game. So, obviously, you remember my playthrough of Absu, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Because I really loved that very colourful underwater world that it created. And so, if I could kind of create my own game, I feel like I'd do something set in kind of like a very colourful underwater world like that, but with maybe some more kind of action elements, maybe a bit of like the sort of a storyline or something that maybe would sound like it could be straight from Beyond Good and Evil, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I've just thought as well. We don't really have an open world game that's underwater.
No, not that springs
A
to
true
my mind.
open world, yeah.
No. Unless, do you count sort of I don't know. I was going to say Bioshock but that's obviously an underwater city. So I don't know if you.
It's
really
mostly
go
city. Yeah, no, I mean a full open world with like where you can just navigate from one thing to another.
Yeah. Is Bioshock open world? I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know. That's one of the next games I'm going to be playing once I finish Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. I need to play it as well on Steam at some point.
Yeah. Bioshock?
Yeah, Bioshock. Yeah. Indeed.
But I suppose you could put if you build a giant underwater area in Minecraft. I suppose you could have that. Yeah.
Especially since Minecraft updated the ocean biomes with actual features now, with like corals and shipwrecks and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
And actual underwater mobs like dolphins and fish and whatever else have you. Yeah.
They've really done a good job with increasing the ocean biomes.
Indeed, yeah. It was such a, it was a biome that for a long time they just needed to update, and then they finally did it, and it was so good. Yeah. Absolutely. There you go. So, a little bit of a, clue there for you, Brandon Peters, about what sort of games potentially, things or odd things we might like to see if we could make our own games. His next question, so getting into another interesting topic here. Were things better in the 90s, or are things better now? So, obviously you and me, we were both very much 90s kids.
Wow.
We were, yeah.
Wow, that is a question.
Yes.
Wow. So,
I
yes,
think,
I was born 1992.
Yeah, I was 1991. So, yeah, it was an interesting period in time, and I think a lot of people, they look back on their kind of period of their sort of childhood, and usually they do so through kind of rose-tinted spectacles. They often feel a lot of nostalgia for it, and they inevitably sort of go, yeah, oh yeah, things were so much better at that time. But I don't know, I always find that that's very, like I say, it just feels very rose-tinted spectacle, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nostalgia can hit, can't it?
it can.
Um,
It really kind of can sway your opinion a lot. And I
it's
think, there's a lot today which is actually pretty good. So I don't know, I wouldn't really say that any one time was better than any other, to be honest, myself. Mm,
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, the '90s had lots of interesting things. Obviously, the first sort of video gaming was coming to force, computers as well. Let's not forget the old dial-up.
indeed, yeah.
That I'm not going to miss.
No,
That's a damn sure. Uh,
indeed, yeah.
the horrendous noises that it used to make as
Absolutely.
you're going in, and it was all. I remember back then the craze was the craze was Pokemon
Oh,
at
yeah.
the start, and also Tamagotchis.
Oh, Tamagotchi, my
Yeah,
God.
that was the craze back then.
Forgot that existed. Yeah,
But
that was
obviously
the thing.
now we've got advancements in medicine. We've got great advancements, better gaming, better
Indeed.
shows on TV, more greater films. Actually, there were some good films back in the '90s. I think
Yeah.
the original Lion King was released then,
Yeah.
and it's sort of interesting going from seeing the old. I do like the old style. You remember the CRT TVs,
Yeah.
the big TVs you got, and then obviously now I've got the latest flat screens. Um, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, obviously, I was only in the '90s for 8 years,
Yeah.
and most of that was when I was very young.
Indeed, yeah.
Um,
So, I think, like I say, there's a lot of stuff in the '90s which, we do remember fondly, but I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say it was better than today. I mean, at the end of the day, it's very subjective, and,
yeah, there'll
this
be some
is,
things that are better
yeah,
that you find better, and some
yeah.
things that are better now.
Yeah, it's kind of actually reminds me of something I mentioned in brief in the previous episode when I was talking about that mustard channel. Because obviously, I found that channel quite interesting with all of its kind of little sort of mini documentaries, if you will, on various types of
Yeah,
kind of aviation technologies that were being developed in the 50s and the 60s. And of course, when I just said again, um, as I was kind of reading through the comments that people leave on those videos, you get a lot of that very nostalgia kind of rose-tinted spectacle-itis going on
yeah, I
the
remember
part of
you
a lot of
saying
people
it. Yeah.
commenting, saying, "Oh, the 50s and 60s were so much better. People were daring and they were innovative." And I'm like, yeah, they were, but people are still innovative today. They're just innovative in different fields and things like that. And at the end of the day, it sounds to me like they're kind of measuring human progress
There we go
by,
again.
there we are, once more. They're measuring progress and that sort of thing by a very limited kind of metric, if you will. So, yeah, I just, but interesting channel and all that. But yeah, like I say, I don't think really you can say any one time is better than any other.
For more on this mustard channel, please visit this link for the previous video.
There you go. Yes, if I
Yeah.
remember to put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, which I rarely do. But yeah, so that was an interesting question. That was Brandon Peters. I
I
thought it
like,
was quite
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, the '90s and the 2000s. Yeah,
Indeed.
certainly.
Yes. Okay, Brandon Peters' last question.
Yes.
This one is actually specifically about Sir You Being Hunted. If you could mod Sir You Being Hunted, what would you do? Now, I think I actually may have given a hint of this in my 100th Sir episode, the one where I did General Red Reflex Sir You Being Hunted. Do you remember that video,
Ooh,
Phil? It was a
now
long
that is
time
a way
ago.
back.
Yeah,
Wow,
that is.
200 episodes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember in that one, there was a section of that video where I was talking a lot about, various things that I think you could add to a game like this to really flesh it out.
Yeah.
Sadly, of course, the devs have kind of moved on to different games and whatever else have you.
Yeah, they've moved on a long time ago.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of. I did it again. I said, but there's all kinds of things you could add to a game like this in terms of maybe new enemies, maybe even new biomes, things like that. Because if you, God damn it, I did it again. Now that you've told me, I say constantly. Feel I keep noticing it whenever I say it. It keeps
Yeah,
getting me.
it's classed as a thing that people put into
Yeah,
when they want to put something between a gap, and it's not very good.
yeah.
Yeah.
But given that the UK has some interesting sort of areas that you can go and visit, I think you could really make some interesting biomes for this game. I mean, there was another idea I had, which I think maybe would generate more mixed opinions, at least based on the comments that I can vaguely remember people leaving on that 100th Sir episode, which was
Oh
maybe
yeah.
a form of very limited crafting system. Yeah,
That's intriguing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, some people would say,
There it is again.
there it is
There it
again.
is again.
Um,
Yeah.
some people would say that maybe it doesn't need that. And some people, for example, said that it wouldn't really fit with the idea of the character being a kind of aristocrat who maybe wouldn't be expected to know that kind of thing. But I feel like a limited form of crafting system, not something too big, would potentially add something interesting. Let's say, because you can find things like books and letters in this game. What if you could find, say, pages of like schematics that enable you to make like makeshift weapons or whatever? So, for example, you could combine a bottle with some kind of flammable material to make like a Molotov cocktail or something.
Like you can in the forest.
Yeah, kind of like that.
You can do
or
that in
even
the
just
forest.
like a very
isn't it?
basic campfire, something along those lines. I don't know. Like I say, it would. I think it's something that would produce mixed opinions, but I feel like it could add something to the game to make it even more fleshed out than it already is. Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, so there's quite a few ideas that I sort of came out with there, but yeah.
yeah, there are some good ideas. I'm just thinking what I would add. Maybe have a fact, where you can obviously switch between being a madam or a sir.
Yeah.
Maybe have some differences.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean with having that, rather than just changing the name or changing the gender in
Okay.
multiplayer.
So maybe having like characteristics, something
Yeah,
like that.
character things like that
Yeah,
as well.
traits.
Maybe some of the robots being female, because obviously
Yeah.
they do have that male look because they have the mustaches and beards
Yeah.
and things.
Indeed.
What also I think would be a good idea is to have a although this might anger some people, well, not anger them, I wouldn't say, but it might be mixed reviews as well. But having a for like the axe or something, having like a like in Minecraft, a damage meter.
Oh, okay.
So eventually
yeah.
it will break.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Durability. Yeah.
That's the bloody word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Durability. Yeah. So if you use the axe too much, it will start wearing down and then eventually break.
Yeah, you could make like a kind of hardcore difficulty, maybe not just with the axe, but perhaps also with your guns as well. Eventually, the barrels wear down or whatever.
Or you have
so
to,
you have to
yeah,
repair
because
them.
as an example, in Red Dead Redemption 2, after a while, your guns start getting into a poor condition.
Yeah.
And if you don't clean them, because you use a special thing called gun oil, if you don't clean them, then it will the damage output and the accuracy output will be severely reduced.
Yeah.
So if you clean it, it comes back to better. So maybe do things like that. Clean your guns
Indeed.
and
Yeah.
check the barrels. So
Yeah. I think that would be interesting, 'cause maybe kind of relate as well to the idea of a crafting system, because there's a lot of like junk items in this game which don't actually have a use.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting maybe to add something that actually gives them a use rather than just having them there for the sake of having them there. Yeah.
it would also be a cool idea
Go ahead. Yeah.
to have some form of transport around the island.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, you could take like a mini like bus or car or something, just take it around, or even because it's maybe the Victorian sort of style, maybe like horse and carriage.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting one,
around.
actually. Actually, yeah, that gives you an idea, because you could
Or
have
steam
like
train.
you could have like because the thing is, like on the rural biomes like this one, the villages are all usually connected by a single road.
Yeah.
And so what you could have is you could have like a robot who basically has like a cart that he sort of drives around. You could like sneak into the back of the cart or something like that, and then try and get out at your destination, something like that. I think it would be interesting. Yeah, and he just sort of pats along the roads between the villages.
Yeah, that's clever. Or even have a little steam train around the island,
Yeah.
which you can get from various different things.
Indeed. Aye, that would be quite an interesting thing there. So yeah, there's some interesting ideas there. There were, modders back in the day for Surrey being hunted when it was in its heyday, but I don't think they are really around anymore. Because obviously there was the Angel mod, which I've used a couple of times. For some
And then there was
research
that mod.
challenges.
There was that mod. I've watched one of your. We went quite far back. I think it's episode 153, the Wild Food Challenge, where you mentioned about the Judgment Day mod, but you couldn't install.
Oh
which
yeah,
made
that
it,
one. Yeah, I think Judgment Day mod was like a really hardcore mod.
That's one.
It was
Yeah.
designed to make the game really, really tough. But yeah, sadly I couldn't get it to work because I think the version of Sir I was on, the mod rather, was for an older version of Sir, and unfortunately the person who made it hasn't. They've not been seen on the Serb forums updating their stuff for
Not
a
updating
long
their
time.
stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing I thought of, which probably you won't like, because you find the water very annoying. Have some more water enemies.
Ooh.
Maybe like a mechanical shark.
Oh,
for
hey
example.
up.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Or
about
maybe
like
like
a...
mechanical octopus, for
Oh,
example, that grabs you with its tentacles,
yeah.
similar to the sea beast, but then pulls you underwater,
Or
and you
kind of
start
like,
drowning.
you know how there's the balloon as well? What if instead you had like a boat that goes around?
Airborne.
Yeah,
Yeah, or have more airborne one as
true.
well.
Yeah. Like a little
Uh,
biplane, like in the
yeah,
39 Steps.
I
Yeah,
see. There's various different things you can easily add.
indeed, yeah.
Oh, big robot games, come
I
back.
know. This is one of those games which I think you could really add some more stuff to Serving Hunter to make it really interesting. Yeah. Okay, so that's all of Brandon Peters' questions
Thank you,
then,
Brandon
Phil.
Peters.
Some good series there. So we're on to the final couple now, which have been
Okay,
sent to us by a chap called Ontinti.
right.
So he has one for you and one for me. I think we'll
Oh,
start with yours first because I think you've actually already given the answer to this. Phil, have you gotten around to playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey yet? And what is your favourite Assassin's Creed title? Well, I think you've already said, haven't you, that you haven't played Odyssey yet.
I haven't yet. No,
No.
no. I'm so. What's the viewer's name?
Ontinti.
On Tinty. Sorry, on
Yeah.
Tinty. I will not forget your name again. I can just think of it like as Tintin. On Tinty. There we go. I haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey yet. No. I'll be working my way there. I'm still at Red Dead Redemption 2 at the moment. I'm very close to the end now. I can tell because, well, for starters, it's on like 83, 84%.
Yeah.
So I'm very close to the end. After that, I will be playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And then I'll be doing the Bioshock collection, so all 3 Bioshock games plus the DLC, and then it will be Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
I've got until the holiday season 2020 before Valhalla comes out.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll definitely be playing it because I'm really, really interested to see it. I really enjoyed Origins, and I want to see the next part of the storyline, even though it goes back.
Indeed.
But the modern day section won't, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the modern day section as well.
Yeah. So
But
what's
yes,
your favourite Assassin's Creed title of all the ones you've played? Is the one that particularly stood out to you?
Ooh, on Tinty, that is. Oh God, you've got me there. All right, let's think. So I will say I haven't played the only Assassin's Creed games I haven't played is well, I haven't played Assassin's Creed 1 and I haven't played the Ezio trilogy. So that's Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. So
Yeah.
I make my judgments on that. And I haven't done the Chronicles either, which is the 2.5D games,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
those ones.
India,
Yeah.
China, and Russia. Yeah. I think it was during the Russian one was during the October Revolution. The Chinese one was the Ming Dynasty, I think, and the India one, I'm not sure. I think it was the Indian Revolution that they had.
Mutiny, something around there,
Yeah,
maybe.
something like that. Now my favourite. So I've played 3. But I haven't played. What was the one with Aveline de Grandpré? Liberation. That's it. I haven't played that either.
Yeah.
The ones I've played is AC3, AC4, Unity, Syndicate, and Origins.
There you go. Yes.
So my favourite, oh God, even though the storyline was a bit samey, I did like Syndicate because
Yeah.
the setting was fantastic. I did like the Victorian London setting; that was good. Assassin's Creed 3 was really fantastic. The American Revolution never been done before. I did enjoy that, and it had a nice bit of a wilderness section.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 4, fantastic. The best bit I loved about Assassin's Creed 4 was visiting the little islands. You could just go into a random island and
Yeah.
visit. Just stop your boat and go.
Indeed. Yeah.
But I think I'm going to say Origins.
Origins.
I
Yeah.
think Origin. The ancient Egypt setting was absolutely fantastic. I just loved going to the pyramids and exploring the things. And at the end, they did this Discovery Tour thing, which gave you things. You could go inside the pyramids and see the tombs and everything, and it was utterly fantastic. And the way they revamped the whole system as well, the combat system was completely revamped, and it wasn't just Templar minion Grandmaster game over, minion Grandmaster game over. No, it was actually proper full of her
Yeah.
storyline. I think RPG elements like because I know it got inspired by The Witcher 3.
Indeed. Yeah.
So that would be probably, I'd say Origins. Yeah, who knows if Odyssey might top it? We'll have to see.
We'll see. Yeah.
You can answer this question. I know you
Yeah,
can't,
I can.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you can't do the Odyssey bit
No.
but you can do the second part of the question.
Yeah. I mean, the second part of the question. So after I initially played it, originally Black Flag was my favourite, but that was just because of the naval combat. And since then, though, I've kind of looked back on it, and actually, if you ask me now, which is my favourite Assassin's Creed out of the few that I've played, I'd say Assassin's Creed 3. Just because, although Black Flag had the more developed naval combat, the thing about Assassin's Creed 3 was that I just felt like a lot of the characters were really interesting, like Hatham as a villain, Connor, even though not everybody sort of felt like he was a particularly exciting hero. I
Oh,
still
so that's a
thought,
plot twist.
I know that is a plot
Blimey.
twist.
Villain.
Well, it depends on your ideological point of view, Phil. If you're if
Yeah.
you value order and stability, maybe you would see him as the villain. That's the whole point, I
Incorrect.
guess. Yeah.
Incorrect. The Templars favored order and chaos, not
Oh.
stability.
Oh, really? Order and chaos? What?
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't sound right. Are you sure about that? Oh, I always thought it was order and stability. I mean, order and chaos
Chaos.
sounds a bit weird. Huh. Okay. I've always thought it was order and stability, but never mind. But okay. But yeah, Haytham Kenway, like I say, I just thought was a really interesting villain because the game actually took the time to flesh out his character. And Connor, even though not everyone agreed with it, I still thought was an interesting protagonist. And like you said before, I think
No,
the
that can't be
settings were
right. That
interesting.
can't be right. I fucked up there.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, because order and chaos is like an oxymoron.
Yeah,
They're
I was
two
just thinking,
opposites to
what?
each. They're two
Yeah.
opposites to each other. No, hang on now. Oh my God, how am I failing on the lore of Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
I think it must be the Templars order stability and the Assassins are freedom.
Yeah. I was thinking, yeah.
I think it's free. Assassins is freedom through chaos.
That
Might be
might
something
be
like
it,
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was wondering then when you said order and chaos, I was like, really? That doesn't sound like it goes together. What?
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting. Okay.
no
Yeah.
problem,
Back to it.
Yeah, but as you said, I think Assassin's Creed 3 just had a really interesting setting, interesting characters, and obviously the naval combat that it did have in it was very enjoyable, and I liked that. So yeah, although Black Flag was at the time I played was my initial favourite, in retrospect, looking back over the ones that I have played, Assassin's Creed 3 actually, when I seriously sit down and think about it, probably actually would be at the top, just because it had an interesting mix of just generally good elements to me. But just to clarify for anyone wondering, the Assassin's Creed games I've played are 3, Black Flag, Unity, and Syndicate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's playing.
Yeah. So there you go. That was the Assassin's Creed question there. And now one final question from Ontinti, primarily addressed at me, but obviously Phil can chip in as well if he wishes to. And this one, Red,
Okay.
have you watched Beastars on Netflix? If you have, what are your thoughts on it? Now, as far as I'm aware, I think Beastars is an anime. I haven't watched it. But I've heard people say that apparently it's quite good. I've also heard people on the internet who like to rag on it, saying it's just a bunch of furry shit. But no,
Right.
I've actually heard that apparently it is supposed to be enjoyable. So I don't know, maybe something to check out there. So Beastars, that's spelled BEA stars, all one word.
Beastars. I don't think I've got. But hang on a minute. You don't have Netflix though, do you?
I don't know, so
That's
might,
going to be
yeah.
I do, however, have Netflix.
Yeah.
So I can see if it is indeed on there because I know Netflix do have an anime category
They do indeed. Yeah.
on there. But
Yeah.
you'd have to get it. It's not too expensive. I think it's like the basic where you get standard definition, and you can only watch it on one screen, which is fine because
Yeah.
you don't have anyone to share it with. I think it's like $5.99.
Yeah, is that per month then? Yeah,
Yeah, it's yes.
per month. Yeah,
Is that per month? No, it's not going to be a one-time PL. Imagine if you had to pay $5.99 as a one-time fee.
True.
That would be cheap.
I know.
No, yeah, you pay $5.99 a month.
Yes.
I mean, come on, Andrew, you've got a well-paying job. If you can't afford $5.99 a month, you'd be on the streets.
Yeah, true. True that.
But it's up to you whether you want to do it because there's loads of different sections of things. They've got fantastic documentaries. I've talked before about various different documentaries on Hitler's Circle of Evil
Oh, yeah.
and things like that, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So I'll have to check out Beastars then, see because you never know, it might not just be available on Netflix. It might be available on things like Crunchyroll or Funimation or whatever. See if maybe it's streaming on there. Just check that.
Could very well be, can't it?
Yeah. Speaking of documentaries, though, there are some interesting documentaries as well out there that are available to stream, which I wouldn't mind watching. There's one actually apparently on BBC iPlayer, which I want to watch at some point, a 29-minute one. I think it's what's it called? I think it's called A Deadly Trade. Have you heard of this one, Phil, or is it
I haven't, and
unfamiliar?
it's strange that it's a 29-minute one because most documentaries on the iPlayer are about 59 minutes, about
Really?
an hour
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was only about 29 minutes, unless I am misremembering. But apparently, well, it's advertised as being about the shipping industry's dirtiest secret. And you know me, I'm into my kind of maritime political stuff, so international affairs and all that. So
That's
it
it. That's
sounds
the one.
interesting. But yeah, it's about so basically, it's about the ship breaking side of the industry when ships obviously reach the end of their kind of service life and where they're taken away to be kind of broken up for scrap. And obviously, in most countries, certainly for here in the West, for example, there's a lot of like health and safety and environmental regulations around that over where you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it. So obviously, workers need to be equipped with the right gear for safety. You've got to do it in specified dry docks so that there's no risk of contaminants leaking into the environment or whatever. But of
Yeah.
course, as you can imagine, in some parts of the world, some shipping companies basically what apparently they do is they sell their old ships to these kind of middle companies who then sell it on to these like shipbreaking yards in places like India and places like that where there are literally no environmental or health and safety regulations enforced or anything like that, and where the usual story of like workers who are paid very little money have to work in really fucking dangerous conditions. And so it just looks kind of a very interesting documentary.
Oh
Yeah,
God, yeah, that does
yeah,
sound good. There are some interesting documentaries that on the iPlayer,
yeah.
and there's all various different things. I like watching a few documentaries just to see what's going on.
Indeed.
And I think there's a few documentaries on Netflix as well. They have their own ones that you can see. So it's definitely enjoyable as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Just eye-opening and very informative subjects that you can find on there. So always worth taking a look into. But yeah, I need to check that one out and watch it at some point.
Get your little googly eye pegs pegged to it.
Me eye pegs.
Your eye pegs, your googly eye pegs, your
There
googly
we
eye
are.
pegs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, there we go. That's actually all the questions that were
Oh,
left for this video. So there you go then, everybody. Hope you enjoyed listening to
those
us
questions.
ramble there for a
Have you
good
got any
amount of time.
questions?
I have one question for my viewers out there, Phil.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
good idea.
Why haven't you liked this video yet? Assuming that you haven't done so already. There you go. That's my question.
Maybe they have.
Maybe they have. They might have done. But if they haven't, why haven't you done it yet?
Why haven't you done? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't
I
bother
just
writing out an essay saying why you haven't in the comments. Just do it now. Yes. There you go.
if there's here's a little question for you actually, and
Go ahead.
potentially for viewers. If you there's obviously some bad jobs out there that people do and,
yeah.
and things like that. If you were thrust into a job where you're forced, which would be the worst job that you'd go in that you would find so dull and so boring that it would just take all the energy, it will zap all the energy out of it. Which job out there would you not like to do?
So, in terms of, if something that's kind of really boring to the point of just mind-numbing, probably like one of those jobs that you see in factories where you just stand on an assembly line just doing the same repetitive task over and over, like screwing
Yeah.
the cap onto the toothpaste bottle.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, I mean, somebody's
no.
got to do it, but actually, I imagine that's one of those jobs, though, which with automation, I'd be surprised if in many instances that hasn't already been kind of addressed and dealt with. But yeah, basically like a factory assembly line type job where you're just doing the same tiny little menial thing
God.
over and over
Yeah.
and over.
I'm with you on
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
yeah.
So mundane.
Yeah,
And just it would just sap everything out of you.
it would. Yeah. Yeah, but other, in terms of jobs, for example, that you won't want to do for different reasons, maybe because they're dangerous or whatever. Well, maybe the one I just mentioned about the documentary just then, working in an Indian shipbreaker's yard, something, I don't know.
What about truckers who have to transport
Oof.
flammable, radioactive materials,
Yeah, that's not good.
things like that?
Yeah. Do you ever see episodes of Ice Truckers, that show?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have. Yes, I have seen episodes of those, and it's especially when they have to go across this ice that could easily crack at any moment,
Indeed.
and then they go under. But yeah, that would be the thing. And plus, I wouldn't want to be a job as a trucker anyway, because
No.
you spend long amounts of time away from your family.
Indeed, yeah.
Always have to sleep on the road as well,
Yeah.
so it's not good.
Not very
But there's
nice.
but then you get these horrible jobs that actually pay well, which you
True,
don't like.
yeah.
Like these, I think I've discussed this before. These people who work for deodorant companies and have to sniff people's armpits.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a job. They'd sniff
yeah.
their armpit, and they put the deodorant on, and then they would smell it again, smell their armpit again, see if it smelled better.
Indeed, yeah. Oh, there you go. Yes, but
But then there's also the people who go, "Oh, I'd love to be a chocolate or an ice cream tester." Yeah, I can see why you'd want to go there, but after a while, you're just going to be so bored.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you're going to have to, go to the gym a lot and exercise a lot because you're going to get really fat.
You are, yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't beat the probable true hell, Phil, which is being, and you might remember the days of this, Phil, being a bus driver on the number 3 on the 3 o'clock bus going at the school rush hour when all the kids are on the bus.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you remember
that?
Yeah,
oh,
do you remember?
Yeah.
This is a little joke between me and Phil. This everybody. Years and years ago, me and him, we once went to the cinema. I can't remember what film it was we were seeing, but
I think it was Sucker Punch. Would you believe?
It might have been actually. Yeah,
it was Sucker Punch.
And we got the bus back to my place afterwards. But the problem is, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when all the high schools were coming out,
there.
and basically this bus was just crammed full of high school students, and God, it was hell.
Yeah, we had a bit of a worry because the bus actually went the wrong way.
It did, yeah.
It went
where's it going?
Oh God, where's it going? And then obviously we realised when it was going past the school that it was picking up the
yes.
and then it came back. Yeah,
Yeah.
we thought.
Where is it going?
Yeah, because we used to do that because we didn't really have any cars of our
we
setup.
didn't. No.
So we had to rely on the bus to go in. And we had to use the bus remember to get to each other's houses as well.
God, yeah. Yes, I remember that. God, bus fares back up in the north were so fucking expensive. They were.
Oh, they just kept increasing.
They did, yeah. It was insane. I remember a all-day ticket was like something. Well, actually, was it an all-day ticket or was it the kind of return ticket? Technically, it was like coming to about £8 or something. It was insane. Yeah.
They know how to charge, don't they?
Yeah. But it's like the bus fares, down here where I'm living, to get into the town centre from where I am, it's only about like £4, something like that.
Yeah, it's good
that.
It's good
yeah.
that. And also, I remember when we used to do that. Obviously, this was back before we had YouTube channels. So I would just come round and we would just play a game for the whole entire day.
True, we would. We just do game and game and game. Yeah. Sometimes actually we sometimes used to head out into town, things like that.
Yeah.
Head out and get lunch somewhere. Or maybe get the bus up into places like Lancaster or whatever. Just have a day.
Yeah, we went to. I think we did. Yes, we had lunch at Booths, didn't we?
Booths Cafe, yes, back in the day.
Yeah, Booths
among
Cafe.
other places. Yeah.
It's good that.
Indeed, it was. I remember obviously when Subway opened near your place back when you were.
Yeah, when you came up here, we went to Subway a few times.
We did, yeah. We'd go to Subway and get barbecue pulled pork footlongs and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'd have Domino's pizza in the evening.
Yeah, because greedy buggers that we were.
But all that there was a shop that did the barbecue calzone.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Nice. It was good. That.
Oh, I know it was like chicken and then doner meat in it.
Yeah.
And it was just whoa. You could just having it in front of you without even eating it. You could touch your body and go, yeah, that's my artery clogging right there.
Yep. That's going to be a heart attack at the age of 50. There we are. But it's going to be a damn delicious one. There you go, everybody. Okay. Notice that my character in game, his vitality is slowly ticking down, so might be time to wrap up before he starts starving to death.
I think we've had a fantastic session.
We have indeed. It's been very good. So yeah, hope you enjoyed our answers to your questions. Then everybody, if there are any questions which I missed, I don't think there are, but if there are any, then just post them down below to remind me, and I'll keep a log of them, and that way when me and Phil decide to do another Q&A, we can always go back.
Oh yes, we're definitely going to do another Q&A.
Oh yeah.
But just two things before we end.
Okay.
Thing number one, I want to say well done, Andrew. Fantastic work for reaching episode 300.
Thank you very much. Yes.
And amazing that you've managed to pull 300 episodes out of this game. I really. Big Robot should have some commemoration. It's just surprising.
Indeed.
I mean, you would think like games that would have 300 episodes would be things like Skyrim and everything, where you've got everything, and you're on your way to dying. There we go, lovely. Well, 300 episodes, so that's fantastic. Now you'll be on your way to. Can you reach 400? Well, no, I think the next milestone is 350, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 350, then it's 400.
Yeah.
So it's been a fantastic run, and I've enjoyed watching the all the various different episodes. Obviously, there's episodes where you just do challenges, and we've done a massive range of challenges, and I've gone through with them. I've looked at the start videos, and there was ones initially where I came round to your house and you had no microphone, and I was just talking through your headset,
Yeah.
so you had to subtitle it.
Yeah.
That was the start. Then you actually got a microphone, and it was me sitting beside you. And then eventually it's come because you've obviously moved down south, and we're doing it through Skype now, which is fantastic. But yes, 300 episodes. That is a massive amount of episodes. And yes, they haven't all been challenges. They have been lots of podcasts, but it's good to have discussions, because the way So You're Being Hunted acts is it's not full on action. There is action moments, but it's a survival game. Most survival games you can have chats with, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like Stranded Deep, Subnautica, The Forest. All these games you can just have a general chat while you're doing stuff, because it helps. Because sometimes it might be a bit boring just to watch someone build something. In creation games. I remember the what was it? What am I remembering now? What am I remembering?
What are you remembering?
I can't remember. But that was the first thing. So well done for 300 episodes. And the second thing I want to just mention is I want everyone to make sure they stay safe, because the coronavirus is still in effect, unfortunately. Lockdowns might be being eased, but please, everyone, stay safe around.
There we go.
Well, we died to corona. Oh,
damn, your outro took so long that my character died.
Well, it's not really interesting.
No.
Yeah, but everyone, please be safe. And if you do start getting a fever, a persistent cough, and shortness of breath, make sure you dial your non-emergency services number. In the UK, it's 111. I don't know what it is elsewhere, but make sure you dial. But keep safe. Stay indoors. Just obviously, if you want to exercise, just get outside and have a nice little walk or something, or bike or run, whichever you prefer. Indeed. And just keep yourself nice and safe, and don't make any unnecessary trips.
Indeed, yes. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, Facebook and Twitter links down in the description, along with the Propagandist channel link and all that. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends on social media, and all that jazz.
You can start a new challenge as well for episode 301.
Yes.
You can start your new challenge. It's a good thing about Sir. There's no shortage of ideas for challenges.
No, there aren't.
There's just no shortage. It's fantastic. And you've got viewers who give you ideas all the time. So keep them coming in. And remember to answer that question as well, viewers, the question that I left. Is there any job out there that you would absolutely hate or find mind-numbing as well?
There you go. So, thank you then, Phil, for joining me. We've been looking at the time there. We've got a good hour and 35 minutes out of this by the looks of it. So, fantastic stuff. Nice big sizable 300 special. Brilliant.
Absolutely. I've loved it.
Time for us to go then. So, goodbye, everybody, I do think. Sayonara. Bon voyage and all that.
Sayonara. Yes. Of course, we go to Japan.
Yes.
Japan.
Yes, indeed. Come on, Phil, say goodbye. There you go.
And thank you for watching episode 300 Baku, which is the capital of Azerbaijan, and the Japanese for pig. There you go. So, booyah, shakalaka, up the jungle, in the massive. I'm making this outro as long as I can.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, fuck off, Andrew. Look, you know. Yeah, that's you all day long, you big twat.
I'm so tempted just to hit the stop recording key.
I don't think you should, because I think people will love this. Also, just remember, everyone, just as a final thing now, Dora the Explorer is a fucking twat.
Yes, remember that. Write it in the comments in capitals, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, use that. He didn't even actually press that, but never mind. Okay, I'm going to get my flag now. I've got 3 shots in it at present, haven't I? But, that's... Okay. I don't see any enemies at present, but... Okay, I'm more used to spacebar being to jump and stuff like that. No, get a gun out. Get out. Oh boy! Oh, that music! Jesus! Oh, is that health pack in there? Good lord! Oh, I probably could have. No, maybe not. Huh?